Why did he do it? Silent Hill 2 is a game filled to the brim with mysteries begging for the player's attention. From questions about the true nature of Maria to what the heck is actually happening in the fog-ridden streets of this forsaken town, there is no shortage of anomalous mysteries to capture our interest. One thing that I have been asking myself recently has to do with our protagonist, James Sunderland. There are many mysteries with James, despite the fact that he comes off as an honest, transparent, and helpful individual, at least initially. But one thing in particular that sparks my curiosity is, why did he do it? If you are wondering what it is, then it is probably a good time to click off of this video if you want to avoid spoilers. Are they gone now? Okay, now that the coast is clear, what is this it that I am referring to exactly? Why, of course, it is this twist of a scene right here. Whoops. It looks like we got the wrong scene, guys. Though I would like to know why James did this. Let me just make a minor correction real quick. Alright, there we go.
I killed her.
Yes, that's the actual it I was referring to. Now, the game alludes to us the reasons why James likely took Mary's life, but the exact specific reason as to why he did so is not expounded upon. There are a multitude of potential variables that can lead to such a tragic decision as this, and it is our job here at Sage's Roar to dig deeper and find the truth buried underneath. To start off our investigation, we do know that James and Mary initially had a loving relationship. Through only a few scenes, we can both see as well as feel the genuine joy and contentment from both Mary and James in the brief videotape scene viewed at the Lakeview Hotel.
You know what I heard? This whole area used to be a sacred place. I think I can see why. It's too bad we have to leave. Promise you'll take me again, James.
I promise.
Furthermore, assuming that any part of Mary's letter is
Come on, we
real,
need to finish
she
that.
makes it quite clear that James ultimately made her happy.
James, you made me happy.
Now, if you saw my last video about Maria, you know I call into question the nature of the reality of this letter that James was given. Yes, Laura gives James a letter with the same context as the letter James starts his journey with, but the fact that his initial letter, which is likely not real, matches the letter given by Laura so closely, we can start to see why the reality of the situation can be called into question. However, that will be for another video. Though James and Mary initially had an inspiring relationship filled with love and contentment, we know that this eventually underwent a sharp and downward spiral after Mary became ill. Why is that? It is very likely that after discovering the gravity of the illness, James's determination to save Mary's life took center stage, and the pressure of his failing efforts led to disappointment and immense frustration. Furthermore, this likely drove James to find ways to cope with the stress, leading to alcoholism in order to dull the pain, creating a vicious, spiraling cycle. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, Mary's energy and vitality likely began to decrease over time, and frustration likely increased immensely upon realizing that it was a terminal illness. Imagine the thoughts of having the place that you were most at peace, that you were eager to visit again someday, becoming the catalyst that leads to your demise. All of those dreams, plans, and aspirations all dwindling and fading into the winds. Mary's fate seems a truly tragic one, often showing how finite and unfair existence in this life can be. Continuing our investigation further, it becomes quite clear that frustrations between Mary and James began to rise during the course of the illness. Some of the monsters we see in Silent Hill are manifestations of how James began to view Mary. The lying figure seems to portray a person trapped within their own body, almost as if bound in a straitjacket made of flesh. And the fleshness seemed to show the spiteful anger that likely began to fester in Mary as her vitality began to plummet further. It is understandable how one could be angered by being in such a seemingly unfair situation. Unfortunately, though, James was the one that had to face the full brunt of the negative emotion manifesting within the depths of Mary's scarred being. We know from an instance of in-game dialogue that Mary was quite prone to vicious mood swings, and understandably so.
What do you want, James? Flowers? I don't want any damn flowers. Just go home already. Look at me. I'm disgusting. Between the disease and the drugs, I look like a monster. Well, what are you looking at? Get the hell out of here. Leave me alone already. I'm no use to anyone. I'll be dead soon anyway. It'd be easier if they just killed me. But I guess the hospital's making a nice profit off of me. Why are you still here? I told you to go. Are you deaf? Don't come back. James. Wait. Please. Don't go. Don't leave me alone. I didn't mean what I said. Please. Tell me it'll be okay. Tell me I'm not gonna die. Help me.
I truly wonder how James must have felt in this hopeless situation, wanting desperately to save his beloved's life and preserve their marriage, but consistently being rebuked by her at every attempt made to console her. This, combined with the growing frustrations of not being able to be intimate with his wife, as well as carrying all of the financial burdens alone, certainly heightened frustrations further. Truly, such a situation could turn even one that is beloved in our eyes into an object of ire.
I'm glad to be coming home. I missed you so much. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Every time you come to see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me. Maybe I just disgust you. I'm so sorry.
After careful examination, I think it would be a fair conclusion to propose that the decision James made was not out of malice, as he still shows signs of sorrow, grief, regret, and love for Mary. No, I propose that James felt trapped. Many real people have felt the gnawing despair of feeling as if they have no way out of a terrible situation. Like a cornered animal, feral ferocity is the likely outcome, and James almost certainly felt this. In his hopelessness, he took drastic, extreme, and violent measures to end Mary's pain, as well as to put an end to his own. Was he justified? Now that we know the most likely reasons why James arose to his decision, was he justified in such an act? It is truly hard for me to say either way, honestly. On the one hand, Mary's life was nearing its end, and she was likely suffering immensely in her last days. It may make logical sense in some respect for James to do this in order to spare Mary from suffering unnecessarily, as well as to liberate himself from the pain of seeing her in anguish. But on the other hand, what James did can be considered craven and cowardice. It can be stated that he ran in a situation that a loved one needed him most, and succumbed to the growing darkness deep within his own being. But honestly, I believe James did try. He researched tirelessly to find a way to reverse the effects of Mary's illness. He endured her misdirected lament. He tried to water a passion that was wilting and honestly already dead. But I have to ask you this, as well as myself, dear viewers. How long must one be tempted before they finally succumb? How long must one endure anguish before they finally act in defiance? How long must one endure the billowing rage within before that rage ultimately erupts?
I know what you are. I know why I needed you. But it's all over now. I don't need you anymore.